So you join me for the 4th video in this filming session, in this Jamaican session, but actually probably the 8th video overall. But don't worry, this is not the last one. I've still got plenty more Jamaican and playful. I'm playing on that as well, but there's still, we haven't finished our Jamaican journey yet. Don't worry. The mission, if you're just joining me, the mission, my favourite Jamaican rum to sip neat, but the bigger mission is like the One Rum Mai Tai. I love the Mai Tai. I'm all about fat-free. Is there a rum? Is there one rum that makes a fantastic One Rum Mai Tai? My benchmark, why I make it home, and it's not a faff to be honest, but I do use 45ml of plantation Samaka, 15ml of plantation OTD. It's just easy, 2 rum blend. I've always got those 2 rums because of masterclasses, because of stuff. I've got that. But my mission is, can we find a One Rum Mai Tai? A Jamaican rum. I do firmly believe it needs to be Jamaican rum because what I've learned so far is that pungency, that funk just works so well, and we've dismissed quite a few rums, even in this Jamaican series so far. We've dismissed the Appletons because they do not come close to the plantation Zamaka, regardless of what you think. For me, you know, when you read that 1944 Mai Tai blurb, that pungency, that funk that the Ray Nephew 17-year-old brings, the Appletons don't. They don't even get remotely close to that. But that's not the only rums we've dismissed. We've dismissed quite a few. Even my favourite neat sipper so far didn't come close in a Mai Tai. And these are the 2 rums we've got here. We've got the Hampton 8, which I'm loath to say edged the plantation Zamaka, not because I'm a plantation fanboy, purely on the price. Ridiculous price for that, £65 for an 8-year-old rum. It is a lot of money, but you can't argue with that. So Worthy 109, obviously Worthy Park. It's 54.5%, hence the 109. That's where the 109 comes for. So 109 proof, 54.5%. Obviously, same people, Worthy Park, same people as Rum Bar Gold. Hopefully you should have seen that there. But a different type of rum here. It's a rum that I used to love and probably still do love. It's only because I found the Skipper, and the Skipper kind of, even though that's Demerara, Guyana, and that's Jamaican, kind of replace that black dark rum that I used in cocktails. I'm actually really looking forward to getting back into this video, just to kind of think, actually, is this better? Should I be using that instead of Skipper in a lot of these cocktails? As this is a litre bottle, I've done the maths for you, so I've got all the comparisons. But £42.49 UK price from Master of Malt for a litre. That translates to £29.75 essentially for a 70 CL, which actually, apart from the Appleton, I'm discounting the Rum Bar Gold because that really wasn't at the races. I would rather, to be honest, I would rather pay the extra sort of £7 or £8 to get a Zymaca, because the Rum Bar Gold is tasty, but, you know, there are other rums for that price that I'd rather have, and that doesn't really give me Jamaican what I'd want. So in that respect, this is pretty much near as damn it close to being the cheapest in this series, shop price if you like, but bottle price obviously more expensive because it's in litres. So $42.49, which translates to $54, which translates to nearly rounded up €50. So you know what to do, guys, especially in Europe, especially, you know, Alho. Let's do Alho for Europe. Who else? I forget who else comments in the US. Kind of give me the US prices in this. Quite a few of you comment in the US actually. So give me the translation prices, but, you know, it's working dollars. $54 for a litre. You know, $37.87 for a 70 CL. Even that, I'm thinking, is actually quite cheap. And I know you guys in the US are going to get this a lot cheaper. So I can't really give you too many other nuts and bolts about this rum. Also, I can really remember off the top of my head, this is actually a blend of rums, so hence there's no age statement on there. So there is like younger aged rums in here, but there are like rums that have been heavily aged in like like heavily charred barrels, if you like. So it's a blended rums there. But I think most of the rums in this do kind of come under a 3-week fermentation time, which if you followed any of the fermentations that we've been talking about, it's actually quite long. We've got a few guys, big shout outs to the drop weight guys in the UK that are playing about with longer ferments, but in stereotypically, we're talking like 48, you know, 60 hours tops fermentation. So the longer the fermentation runs, the more esters, the more flavour notes, everything you kind of get. And that's what we kind of expect from Jamaican rum. Funk from high esters, meaning longer fermentation times. Now, this is quite an interesting one for me because I don't think I've revisited this in a few months, ever since I've had that skipper. The skipper's just dominated for cocktails that I've been doing. But on the aroma, what I get off this, I get Jamaican funk to a certain extent, but it's kind of combined with that sort of molassesy, rich, sort of dark vibe, wood vibe. And that wood vibe comes from charred, burnt casks, if you like. Do you know what? Actually, do you know, this is going to sound really bizarre. It smells like warm, flat cola. That's the best way I can kind of describe that. An alcohol, right, okay, let's rephrase that. A very alcoholic, warm, flat, well, I don't know where the flat comes from, but cola. Alcoholic, warm cola. That's kind of the vibe. It's those sort of molassesy, charred barrel, you know, there is that fruit note to it. There is, I would say, tropical notes. There is a little bit of banana, but probably more sort of pineapple notes to it. Because of that barrel influence, you are getting the caramel. You get more caramel molasses, caramel demerara, than you are sort of like vanilla, if you like. There's a touch of vanilla there, but it's more that vibe. And do you know what? This is why I kind of fell in love with this and why I'm excited about it. Because smelling it, this for me is like the one thing I want to do in this as like an age-old, where are we, 28 years working behind a bar, 28 years of drinking rum and coke. All right, it's not my first thought now for rum, but I do like a rum and coke. This for me is my rum and coke rum. It does, smelling that is everything I want in a rum and coke. Let's dive in for a taste. I'm laughing because in my head, I know what I'm comparing it to. And I'm comparing it to Myers, I'm comparing it to Gosling's, your stereotypical dark rums that people would go for. And it's just hysterical. It is absolutely hysterical because you can't put Gosling's as much, you know, Gosling's is a decent rum, it's all right. But you can't put Gosling's and Myers in this class. You just can't. It's just, but I'll rephrase. Those that have sweeter palates will probably go down the Myers route and the Gosling's route because they are, you know, for all intents and purposes, sweeter rums. Not massively sweet, not Diplomatico or anything like that. You know, we're not talking 30, 40 grams of sugar per litre. Nothing remotely close to that. But they are a lot sweeter, so they're going to have those fans. But as a rum, you know, this is unsweetened, but still with those cola molasses notes, still with the tropical fruit notes. It lights you up drinking it, even though it is a dark, unaged rum, like no age statement rum. You know, it's not one for the rum connoisseurs, but you know drinking it is going to be delicious in cocktails. There is those dark chocolatey vibes that you kind of want a little bit of darker rums, but it is influenced by fruit. It is a fruit forward, spice forward, wood medium forward, mediocre, but the wood gives it that kind of caramelized kind of tone. It's a mixing rum. Do you know what I've got to do? I've got to do the skipper right now. I know this is going completely off piece, but I want to taste this side by side with the skipper. So the skipper doesn't give me the fruit. It's delicious. Don't get me wrong. This is not, you guys know I love the skipper. It comes out a lot. But this is weird because side by side, if I'm drinking, this is probably where it's going to go, you know. Even though I haven't had one for ages, but rum and coke, rum and ginger beer, dark and stormy, you know, I'm probably going this all day long. I know instantly why I use that in cocktails, because it does give me that richer vibe without adding too much complexity to it. You know, you've got a lot of fruit notes, a lot of different angles going on in this rum. This is just simply that rich demerara vibe that you want going through a rum, going through a cocktail at a decent price. But neat sipping side by side is like kindergarten and, you know, big boy league. You know, it's like, it's just absolutely no comparison if you are using one rum. So, you know, I would never dream about putting that in a One Rum Mai Tai, but this has got so much potential now, to be fair. So the one thing I want to emphasize before I go down the Mai Tai route, don't see this and think of this as going to be like massively wood forward, heavily aged, you know, wood, molasses, you know, caramel, all that sort of stuff. This has still got a healthy dose of fruit to it. This has still got that healthy dose of Jamaican vibe to it. Tropical fruit. I'm not overly saying banana. There's possibly banana there, but tropical fruit to it. That is one hell of a delicious rum. And I can't believe, it's the problem when you have too many rums, you just forget about stuff. I can't believe I've genuinely not revisited that rum or had it as a rum and coke or something, because I can instantly tell that is a phenomenal rum and coke or a rum and ginger beer. Phenomenal. So thinking about the Mai Tai and coming into this series, for some unknown reason, this wasn't on my radar. I didn't really even give it a chance of being a great One Rum Mai Tai. I genuinely don't know why. I can't answer that question. I just dismissed it. Fantastic, as perhaps I just dismissed it because it was too dark, and perhaps I was like, you don't want a dark rum in a One Rum Mai Tai. Yeah, can probably guess where this is going now. I flipping love that. I absolutely adore that. What I can't formulate in my mind is whether that's my favourite, because that doesn't deliver the pungency funk that I want. It delivers in everything else. It makes a really good, really decent Mai Tai. And yes, I know this is melted, and I get it. It's the Hamden 8-year-old. The Hamden, it is that funk banana note that you kind of want. And I'm so torn of how to sum this up. The best thing I can come up with. For the price, I prefer it to Hamden 8-year-old. It is just a delicious, I can't dismiss this as a One Rum Mai Tai. I really can't. It is the fantastic One Rum Mai Tai. It is up there with that, but in a different way. I just wish that had a little bit more funk and vibrancy to it to give it what it needs. Now, my head is thinking, actually, do you know what? As much as my Xymaca Plantation OFT is fantastic, there's almost this call for, like, in a One Rum Mai Tai, say 45ml of Worthy Park 109 and maybe 15ml of Smith & Cross, something like that. I'm not overly convinced I would be 100% satisfied with this as a One Rum Mai Tai, but I can't dismiss it. Even that has now been sitting here for probably the best part of 45 minutes to an hour, probably longer. Slightly warm, but does give me that little bit of funk notes. I'm so torn here. I'm so torn. That is absolutely delicious. I can't say that that's better than that. I'm saying that's potentially better than the Xymaca. And I'm saying that that is better than the Xymaca. But they are very different. I generally don't know. Okay, so what I've done off camera, I've done another Mai Tai. We're sitting there. Now, I know that's looking sorry for itself. It's hot in here, as I said. But essentially, what I would make at home, 45ml Plantation Xymaca, 15ml Plantation OFTD. What I've done is, even though these are half Mai Tais, but essentially 30ml Plantation Xymaca, 30ml of Worthy 109. Do you know what? That is absolutely romping it. Oh, that is so tough. I think that's even better than that. I think that is a fantastic 2-rum blend, and I went for Xymaca because I do think that punches in the funk at that price point that I want. Smith & Cross for me, he does punch with funk, but I still get more off the Xymaca. Look, that is so close. I generally don't know how to sum this up because that is so close as a One Rum Mai Tai. I don't want to remove the Hampden 8 because that is a quality Mai Tai. But let's be brutally honest here. Let's go scroll all the way back up to the prices. Let's be brutally honest. Price comparison, the Hampden 8 as a Mai Tai isn't infinitely better than the Worthy 109. And we're flipping half the price. We are less than half the price. So even though I think the Hampden just slightly shades it, slightly, I think for One Rum Mai Tai, I have to go the Worthy 109. It has to take the crown at the moment.